Perhaps it's the most famous Mexican legend. It has some great movies that are worth watching, and several versions of a tragic story that tells how an ordinary woman turns into a tortured soul condemned to suffer an eternity in this world. It all began in 1790. She was a young woman who lived in a small town. She worked at her family's farm, but she wanted to improve her lifestyle. Unfortunately, she didn't have any chances in her hometown, so eventually she moved to Mexico City. Once she arrived to the city, she started looking for a job. It was very difficult for someone like her, since she was a woman and she didn't know how to write nor read. And after searching for days and dealing with local citizen humiliation, she found a job as a maid in the house of a rich family. She was very dedicated to her job and gained the trust of all the family members. But as the days were passing by, she fell in love with a boy from that family. She thought it was a dream coming true, but she didn't know that the nightmare was about to begin. 1 month later, she started a secret relation with him because she was deeply in love, but all he wanted was to have a sexual adventure with her. So they held that secret relationship for months, until a rich boy found out that she was pregnant. He was angry and desperate. He didn't want to have a baby with a girl like her, and eventually, he prohibited her to stay near his property, otherwise he would kill her. The girl was devastated and didn't have anywhere else to go, so she went back to her hometown where she thought her baby would be safe. Once she arrived, her family wasn't happy to see her. Instead, they were disappointed and angry. Everyone else in the town saw her as a prostitute, and she was feeling alone and ashamed. Some weeks later, she was washing clothes at a river near the village. Suddenly, she felt a painful sensation in her belly, and a minute later, she saw that her crotch was bleeding. It was a moment. She was about to give birth. Unfortunately, she didn't have anyone to help her in those dark minutes, so she didn't have any choice but to give birth by her own. When she was finally holding her baby, she didn't see an innocent angel. Instead, she saw a demon responsible for all the bad things that happened to her. And in a moment of hysteria, she threw her baby to a river and walked back home. Minutes later, she realized that she was killing a human being, so she ran back to the river and searched for the baby, but it was too late. The flow of the river had taken away that tiny and innocent body. Desperate, she jumped into the river, breaking her neck with a rock and vanishing in the bottom of dark water. Since then, many people claim to hear the crying of a tortured woman looking for her child, especially if they live near a river or a lake. But how does the crying sound like? Well, that's exactly what you're hearing right now.